this episode, we are going to be going over arrays, maps, and for looping. So, Go, as we know, is a statically typed programming language. And the reason that we use Go is so that we can run our programs very fast. Now, statically typed languages help us do that because all of the memory is laid out very specifically when we compile our program. It's almost like the program is almost tight in its usage. So as with any type of variable, we need to declare both the length and the data type, which our arrays and maps are holding. So you can think of an array as a bunch of elements lined up in a row. So I would do var my array equals, and right now I type in the length of my array in between these brackets. So for now we'll do 3. I can type the data type, and for now we're going to stick to a string. And then here I'm going to do curly braces, and I'll do hello. Second index, I'll do comma, and then I will do world. So this is just the basic syntax of an array. We have each of our items, a string, separated by commas. So a quick way to remember this is just L, T, S. Length, type, stuff. Length, type, stuff. When learning things, it's helpful to use mnemonics. I learned that from Barbara Oakley's book, Learning How to Learn, which I highly recommend. Now that I think about it, I think I lost that book. But let us get to printing the array. So we have our format package imported. We can do format.printf my array is of type %t, and it holds %s. We'll do /n for new line character. I just do my array. I come over to the console, to go run main.go. My array is of type string, and look at that, it also prints the length, and then and it holds hello world. So I don't think I went over this in my original videos, but if you want to print the type of an item, you can just do %t. Now, one knock I do have on Go is that our arrays can only hold certain data types, but that comes with a trade-off, right? So, like I said before, we're trying to be very specific about what our memory is so we can load our program faster. And that is one of the reasons why our arrays and our maps can only hold a certain data type. Now, Go does have a little bit of flexibility. You can see over here that I specified the length of my array, but we can actually just infer the length by doing this triple dot character. And I forget off the top of my head what this is called, but if we do 3 dots, it will not make a difference. It'll just infer the length of the array. Before I run the program again, we can print the length of our array via the length function. My array is of length %d. You can just pass in length followed by your array. My array has a length of 3. And then we can, I believe, and it has a capacity of %d. And we just do cap my array. And it has a capacity of 3. So this is going to be very confusing, the difference between capacity and length. And we will go over that in a later video. But just know that the capacity is sort of like the total size of the array, where length are how many items that it actually holds in it. I'm not really too familiar with capacity at the moment, so I'm a little uncomfortable making the video. But I will play around with that in my very limited amount of free time at the moment, and we will get to that in another episode. And just out of curiosity, I'm going to do this. I'm going to erase one parameter. I hope you guys can't hear the trash truck outside. Okay, so I was reading the other day about format string vulnerabilities in C, and I just wanted to pass in an incorrect number of arguments to my string in Go and see what happens. And we get a missing parameter. But anyway, as with any variable in Go, you can just use the var or this operator. You can also have an uninitialized array, like so. And if I wanted to assign something to an array, as with anything, any arrays in programming languages, I could go like this. You do the bracket operator, and then the index. So the first index is always 0 in literally every programming language. So if I want to assign the first item of an array, I call 0. So it's actually whatever index you think it is minus 1. And I will assign that to the word Corey. And if I want to come to the second index, I just do 1. And we do corner. Boom, boom, boom. So actually, when you have an uninitialized array, you cannot use this splat operator right here. I remember the name. You need to pass in the index, like so. Oops, and now I wonder if I can do this. I think I can. This might be unsafe though. Yep, that is unsafe. So do %s/n. I do my array. Come over here, and we get Corey's Corner, the best podcast on the world. And as you can see, our array elements are not static. I can do something like this. My array sub1 equals corner, and I'll just add the word podcast. I can highlight my array, print it again, boom, boom, boom. I'll just do that, and we get our array like so. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I need to go over? Not really. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. So I wanted to print out length and capacity with an array that is not fully full. Length equal %d/n, capacity equals %d/n. I do length, my array, cap, my array, and I will run this again. So the length is 3 and the capacity is 3. So I clearly don't know the difference between length and capacity. We will get to that later. But anyway, we're going to keep our array right here, and just to save a couple of lines of code, we'll do this, we'll do this, and then we will move on to maps. So you can think of an array as just a bunch of elements tagged to an indexed number. A map deals with key value pairs. So I could have something like this. User map equals, and we declare a map with like so. We do map, and we have the key type, and then the value type, and we can initialize our map like so. So we can have name, and then Corey. I might have done something wrong here. Format printf %s/n user map. I do think I did something wrong. My array declared but not used, so I will just comment this out. Nope, it worked. So I did actually do that right. I did that on the fly. It's getting kind of nervous to restart the video. So anyway, we have key value pairs. Maps are typically referred to in Python as dictionaries, or in languages like Ruby, hash, Dart also calls it a map. But you can think it as mapping two values together. So you map the key to the value. The key is the first one. We assign a key a value, like so, with the colon operator, and then this would be the value. So my key would be name in this case, and core would be my value. And of course, we can store more than one key or value. So we just do a comma, we can do age, and we can do 99. Yep, I am that old, like so. And it actually prints it backwards, which is interesting. I never really noticed that before. But anyway, now we are going to get to for loops. So usually when we have an array or a map, we'll want to go over each part of our array or map, and we'll want to do something with that data. We'll either want to grab the data, or we will want to whatever. So I'm going to show you how to loop over arrays first, then I'm going to show you how to loop over maps. So you will use the for function, for statement. So for there, and in this case we do x. Well, for an array we'll do index, comma, item in range, and then we pass in my array. So the index will stand for the number or the slot where our data is held, where the item will be the actual piece of data. So we'll do format.printf my array has a value of %s at index. Well, actually, let's do this. My array sub %d equals %s/n. And the range function just gets over the length of the array. And the length function also works on maps. So the length will give you the number of keys and values in the map. So if I'm going to comment this out, just because I don't want to be looping over two things at once. We'll run go run main.go. Oh, I forgot to add the index and the item. Boom, boom, boom. My array sub 0 equals Corey's. My array sub 1, corner. My array sub 2 equals podcast. Now it's easier to see how the first index is assigned. The first item is assigned the index 0, and the second item is assigned index 1, so on and so forth. Go's a relatively new language. I'm not sure what the historical reason behind the array syntax being n-1, but it'd be cool if someone invented a programming language where you can just pass in 1 and it'll get the actual first index of the array. Maybe I will do a Ruby monkey patching video on that. That would actually be sick. But anyway, we're going to erase our array now. Oh, one more thing. Say I didn't want to print the index. So the index in arrays might be kind of like useless. If you don't ever want to use the index value, you just do an underscore. We'll erase this. And that's just telling Go that it's just a variable that is not going to be used. And then we'll see this. We won't get an error. And the reason Go warns us when we don't use variables or packages is, again, to save memory space. Go is a language that is concerned with speed. We want our program to run as fast as possible. Now, sometimes there's a trade-off between the speed of our program, how it runs, and how fast we can build it. So with Go, I have to type more characters, and I have to be very specific with things. So it's going to take me longer to write the program, but the program will be faster to run. Not every language is the same, so choose your languages wisely. The exact opposite is said of Ruby. People say Ruby's slow, Ruby's old. I'm like, Well, you can metaprogram. I can literally write 5 functions in 3 lines. And even if it's not really slow. I don't know why people say Ruby's slow. It might be slow relative to something like Go, but things still happen in the blink of an eye. But anyway, I'm just ranting now. I just hate Pythoners. I'm a Ruby supremacist. Bad joke. But anyway, we'll go to my user map. And before I forget, if we want to reference the, a certain part of an array, we can do this. Of a map, we can do format.printf user map sub name equals %s/n, and I'll do user map. I'll pass in the key I want to get, and then we're going to do a no key error after this. But it's just like you just use the brackets. With the brackets within an array or map, you pass in whatever value you want to get. Right? So I want to get the name value, I put in the name key. So you can think of the brackets as like a lock where you pass in the key. That was a great analogy. That's the first time I thought of that. That's pretty cool. So go run main.go. We have user map subname equals Corey. And if we pass in a non-existent value, so ME, we obviously have no keys ME in this, we'll get an error. Where we won't get an error, nothing will happen. So just keep that in mind. I'm new to Go, so sometimes we want to actually catch or get familiar with the error codes or the nuances of a language by doing stuff that doesn't work. So that is what I just did there. And in a similar fashion, we can loop over maps like so. So we'll have user, so we'll do for k, comma v, in range, user map, format.printf, %s equals %s, then we'll do /n, do k, comma v, bang, bang, bang. We loop through all of the pieces and we change them. And we can also, did I go over that? Yeah, we did. I did not go over that actually. We can print the length of user map equals %d/n length user map, and then we can go like this. If we want to reassign something, we'll do user map sub name equals foobar, and I'll see if I can add a key. I can do user map sub dog equals Big Cooper, and I will do format printf %s/n. We'll do user map, go run main.go. See, length of user map is 2. Obviously this changes, and then we print out our keys and values right here. So the difference between maps and arrays: for an array, we have to specify the length. Maps have an unlimited length. Both of those have to have a type defined for them, and that helps with memory optimization. And real quick, I just want to pop an error on this. So I'll do user map age equals, we'll pass in a wrong type. So this is a integer type, whereas we have string defined, just to acquaint ourselves with the various errors we get in Go. Untyped as a string value in assignment. Okay. But what I could do is I could do this. And no, I'm not 22, I'm 24, so let me actually do that. I just gave away my real age. Our program runs like so. And that is called typecasting. So that's it for this episode. In the next episode, what I'm going to do is, believe it or not, I am going to try and make a game with arrays and maps where we pick a random value and we try to guess that value. So we'll deal with user input and we'll deal with the random package. So I will see you in the next episode. I really hope you guys learned something. Thank you for watching.